the PS4 and the PS5 and the PS4 recently had no games in the Japanese top 30 sales charts. This is a tough one. If you're a frequent browser of the Japanese software charts, such as Famitsu and Gematsu, you're probably used to seeing a wide range of titles for multiple platforms crammed into the top 30. However, lately, that's all changed, as there's no PlayStation 5 or PS4 games in either of the charts, which is currently, in this chart right now, is currently dominated by Nintendo Switch games. Guys, I thought this was a PlayStation show. Why am I talking about Nintendo so much tonight?
You know what? I'm wondering, is that why David is hanging around chat now?
David better not have access to my show notes. He better not. If David has access to my show notes, that means somebody gave them to him. Oh, we love you, David. We love you, David. I am not channeling my inner Ed. Like, we're gonna keep that slander out of the chat tonight.
Ed should be on this show now.
All right. This is a pretty shocking state of affairs, considering the PS5 is obviously a new console and the PS4 is still refusing to die. But it seems that this isn't enough for Japanese gamers, as neither platform is represented in the charts for the August 2nd to August 8th week of 2021. Instead, Nintendo's hybrid console has swarmed the top 30 with games so that no other console can even get a look at it. Poor Xbox. This sort of thing hasn't happened since the 90s, where the NES, the SNES, and the Game Boy, 3 different platforms but all under the Nintendo banner, had titles that dominated the charts. It's worth pointing out digital sales were not accounted for in this releasing of the numbers. So PS5 and PS4 most probably did some numbers in this area. The PS5 is also still not readily available. Especially, I actually learned that it's more readily available in the United States than it is in Japan and in Eastern country territories and stuff like that. That's crazy. Number one, like it's hard to get a system in your native country. That's crazy. But so that doesn't really help matters. While the PS4 is still hanging on, so PS4 is still there, and PS4 is the best-selling Sony console, but no games are hitting that. So, it's weird. It's really weird, and it's crazy to see. Like, there's definitely a different vibe, when it comes to Eastern gamers versus Western gamers. So here's a question: considering that portable gaming is all the rage in Japan right now, do you think Sony regrets abandoning the PlayStation Vita? Man, Austin should have been here for this one.
I doubt it. I mean, honestly, I think they should have put more time into that, because when it first came out, and I mean, I loved my Vita. I played Uncharted, and that was it. They didn't follow it up with anything that I wanted to play. I think that if they're going to put out a portable system, they should support it. I had a hard time getting into it, right? Where the Switch has kind of mastered the both worlds a little bit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Sorry, my wife started clapping like halfway through that, and I heard noises, so I was like, "Oh no, baby!" But the Yankees apparently did something great, so so yay, go Yankees!
Nellie, what's your thoughts? Is Sony feeling the burn right now behind the lack of a portable presence? Hell, I mean, yeah, and answer that question, because I'm going to say something that's probably stepping into PC territory, and then that's going to have people yelling at me for why I haven't started a PC show yet. But go ahead and answer this question first, Nellie. You're muted.
Sorry, I was like doing extra stuff. But anyway, like Chris said, the Vita could have had more time, and should have had more time. It had potential, but it died off a little bit too fast for me, because now we got like a Nintendo Switch, just like Chris said, you're getting the best of both worlds. And like, I know we're not traveling right now, but that could be like a good system to have with you at times.
You know,
So
you guys bring a very good point about that because when the Vita was out, they also released what was called the PlayStation TV, which was basically the Vita, except it was a console version. The only problem was it had its limitations. Like it could still play PS1 games in the retro PSP library and stuff like that, but it could not play games that needed specialized things like the touch pad on both the backside as well as the touch screen on the front and stuff like that. You had to use a PS3 controller to play the games and stuff like that. So honestly, if I might be overstepping my bounds here, but I think Nintendo learned from some of the stuff that Sony was trying to do with the Vita, and that's how we got the Switch.
that's what I say all the time. I know the whole Xbox, PlayStation console war thing. I'm like, Nintendo sits in the shadows and study this stuff. And that's when they come out with their product.
Right? Right?
Right. Nintendo knows how to make money. Like they didn't. Xbox and PlayStation have been very, very focused on graphics and stuff like that. Nintendo, I think, even said as much with the Wii, and that thing ended up selling more systems than Jesus. It was huge.
What if Nintendo's actually paying Shigeru Miyamoto to be a spy over it? Like he's somewhere in one of like Sony's factories. like think back in the 80s when you had the little microfilm cameras and stuff like that. Miyamoto's somewhere in one of the factories, like getting snapshots of the schematics and stuff like that.
Calm down, Red Dawn.
David Lasby in the chat right now. He says, in all fairness, Nintendo was killing it with the DS and the 3DS during that time too. That is true, but you know what? How come the DS and the 3DS wasn't dominating sales when all those Kingdom Hearts games were being pumped out on the 3DS? Because I mean, like Kingdom Hearts fans, they're like a cult.
We mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
And that's what killed me when we got to Kingdom Hearts 3, and that'll come up, right? Like you had to play various games on various different consoles, to kind of know the whole story. So then the game got delayed a bunch. Yeah,
when they promised you that you did not need to play the handheld games because they weren't going to have that much weight to the main series, and then all of a sudden everything in those games was canon because Kingdom Hearts 3 needed some weight to stand on it. Actually, what they initially said about some of those Kingdom Hearts games that came on 3DS is that they were not supposed to be part of the main story, so you did not have to play them. And then Birth by Sleep came out on the PSP, and Birth by Sleep was announced that it was a prequel for Kingdom Hearts. And then I think that kind of made them retcon everything they had said about the other Kingdom Hearts games on portable consoles, because there was even a phone game. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, there was.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it's just super, super annoying, right? Especially when you have to have it take forever to bring the next one. I know I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but
it's okay.
You brought it up first. You do that.
I did because there's one thing I'm there's a few things. There's a few things
I'm angry. I am.
There's a few things I'm guaranteed to talk about on Crossroads. My disapproval for how we got treated with Kingdom Hearts. My complete lack of respect for Final Fantasy VIII. and my well and true belief that all Nintendo fans are cultists.
Wow. Cult as long as you're the boss.
None of us are the bosses, though. I mean, I have a Nintendo system, and my Switch has been getting some love lately, and not even Monster Hunter games. That's the crazy part.